Well, the mild weather continues today, but a cold front is going to bring a very temporary drop in temperatures. It's also creating a very narrow area of snow and some mixed precipitation today. Mild air is back for the weekend, and that's going to be a problem with next week's storm. All sorts of possibilities, but a big precipitation producer for the Midwest. It looks like Monday into Wednesday. So we talked a little bit about snowfall yesterday. Here's visually what that looks like across Minnesota. Highest pockets, of course, around Lake Superior, where we're well over 40 inches for season-to-date snowfall. Or sorry, this is 30-day snowfall, so not even including all of November. And then a pocket to the northwest. Talked about yesterday, 10th snowiest season-to-date for the Twin Cities so far. Latest drought monitor is unchanged from last week, but the good news that came over the last couple weeks is we no longer have that extreme category of drought. Still severe, though, for the Twin Cities into south central Minnesota. So I talked about some colder air is moving in across Minnesota today. Steady temperatures in the 20s in northwestern Minnesota, still hanging on to the 30s above freezing here in southeastern Minnesota, but that's temporarily going to be pushed just to the south for just tonight into tomorrow, and should be back here by Saturday. So we've got this system, elongated area of low pressure that's bringing this swath of showers. It's a mixed bag of precip. It's going to turn to snow, but it's going to be a very narrow area of snow developing basically from Worthington through the central part of the state and right up the North Shore. Twin Cities will be on the eastern edge of this swath of evening snow. And again, the temperatures will be above freezing as it falls, so probably not much of an issue this evening. And, you know, a divide here probably between the east and west metro. Some western suburbs could see an inch of snow, but eastern suburbs, maybe even nothing at all. So a very narrow swath of about an inch up towards about Duluth. Might see a couple inches for some spots in the far southwestern part of the state. And then colder behind the system tonight. Teens in the Twin Cities, which is totally normal, actually a few degrees above normal for overnight lows still, but sub-zero at northwestern Minnesota. Overnight, some cold air temporarily sneaks in. Mid-20s tomorrow, again, perfectly normal, but cooler. And just teens in northwestern Minnesota. But by Saturday and Sunday, southern Minnesota, we're back into the 30s. Should see milder temperatures again. Still a little cooler in the 20s, but perfectly normal still for the northwestern part of the state. And then comes the headache of a storm system for next week in terms of forecasting. European and American models still very different on the tracks, so it will be very interesting to see the model runs here today and over the coming days. European model is much farther south, much colder. That means a swath of snow, but now it's pushed it even further south. Southeastern Minnesota, maybe into central Wisconsin, missing the Twin Cities, whereas the American and Canadian models is further north and west of the Twin Cities. So if you averaged them together, the heaviest snow would be over us. Now that's not necessarily how it works, however. One of the models is going to be more right than the other. And overall, the mild pattern continues. This is into the second week of January, so about January 11th, still above normal temperatures overall. Some brief cool snaps like what we're seeing tomorrow, but nothing major. And again, the snowfall pattern for next week is going to be interesting. So here's the European, well to the southeast of us, and then the other models to the northwest, and some closer by, but it's really anybody's guess at this point for the storm system next week. Meanwhile, pretty quiet weekend for New Year's Eve. Still looking at some snow showers Saturday night, not much there. And a mild New Year's Eve, mainly in the 30s, falling into the mid-20s by early Sunday. But overall, temperatures way above normal still into early next week.